During the Second World War, Nazi Germany pursued an enormous number of secret projects in the hope of turning the tide of a war they were steadily losing. These extraordinary weapons were collectively known as Wunderwaffe, or Wonder Weapons, and they were meant to be the technological miracles that would save a collapsing empire. Some of them were real and deployed on the battlefield, some remained experimental prototypes, and others became the heart of myths, legends, and endless conspiracy theories that continue to fascinate historians, gamers, engineers, and curious minds today. In this video, we will dive deep into the truth behind these secret developments, examine the unrealized dreams that shaped them, and explore how their legacy influenced the world long after the war ended. Before we continue, ask yourself this question: what would history look like if even one of these weapons had been deployed earlier, in greater numbers, or under better leadership? While we may never know the answer, it is this doorway to alternate history that keeps the topic alive. If you enjoy exploring what-if scenarios, make sure to watch until the end, because we will look at real examples of how close the world came to a dramatically different outcome. At the beginning of the war, Germany possessed some of the most advanced scientists, engineers, and aerodynamics specialists in the world. Their aircraft designs pushed boundaries, their chemical engineering was innovative, and their leaders believed in the power of technology to solve every problem. However, as the conflict continued, Germany faced severe pressure from Allied bombing, resource shortages, and an accelerating arms race on every front. This combination of brilliance and desperation produced some of the most unusual, frightening, and visionary designs of the 20th century. One of the most famous secret weapons was the V-1 flying bomb, which became the first operational cruise missile in history. Imagine standing on the streets of London and hearing the distinctive buzzing sound that signaled its approach. As long as you could hear it, you knew that you were safe. When the sound stopped, the weapon dropped from the sky like a hammer and detonated shortly after. This psychological effect was just as important as the physical damage. No sleep felt safe. Air raid sirens became a constant reminder that danger could arrive without warning. The V-1 forced the Allies to adapt quickly. New fighter tactics were invented, and anti-aircraft defenses were placed strategically to intercept these terrifying machines. Although the V-1 did not change the outcome of the war, it introduced a new category of terror from the sky. Even more revolutionary was the V-2 rocket, the first ballistic missile ever used in combat. Unlike the V-1, the V-2 flew so fast that it could not be intercepted. It reached the edge of space before plunging toward its target at supersonic speeds. There was no sound, no warning, and no defense against it. When it struck, the explosion created chaos and fear unlike anything seen before. The V-2 represented an enormous leap in engineering, guidance systems, and rocket propulsion. After the war, the United States and the Soviet Union raced to capture as much of this technology as possible. The engineers behind it, including Wernher von Braun, directly shaped the rockets that would eventually launch satellites, explore nearby planets, and carry humans to the moon. This is perhaps the most ironic legacy of any wartime invention. A weapon designed to destroy cities became the foundation of peaceful exploration beyond Earth. While rockets dominated headlines, the skies above Europe saw another astonishing innovation: the Messerschmitt Me 262, the first operational jet fighter. If you imagine a jet aircraft appearing among older propeller planes, you can understand how shocking this must have been. Allied pilots described the experience as facing a machine from the future. The Me 262 shattered expectations, traveling faster, climbing higher, and using heavy autocannons capable of ripping apart bomber formations. However, the aircraft suffered from reliability issues. Germany lacked the special alloys required to withstand the heat created by jet turbines, causing engines to overheat and fail after only a few flight hours. Hitler's insistence that the Me 262 act as a bomber rather than a fighter further delayed its deployment. By the time conditions allowed it to fly effectively, Germany was out of fuel, resources, and time. Another aircraft that captured imaginations is the Horten Ho 229, a flying wing design that looked like something from science fiction. By eliminating the traditional tail, the aircraft reduced aerodynamic drag, potentially reaching very high speeds. Some materials used in its construction may have slightly reduced radar reflection, leading some historians to consider it the earliest form of stealth technology. Although the war ended before mass production began, the flying wing concept later influenced one of the most iconic aircraft of the modern era, the B-2 stealth bomber. When you play modern war games and fly futuristic aircraft, You are witnessing the visual descendants of these wartime prototypes. On the ocean floor, Germany attempted to revolutionize submarine warfare. The Type XXI U-boat was vastly different from earlier designs. Its streamlined hull, advanced sonar systems, and powerful battery banks allowed it to stay underwater longer and move faster than any submarine before it. Until then, submarines were essentially surface ships that occasionally submerged. The Type XXI reversed that concept and became the first true submarine. Had it arrived earlier in the war and in large numbers, it could have cut off Britain from supplies, changing the entire strategic balance. Fortunately, delays, sabotage, and Allied bombing prevented this nightmare scenario. Meanwhile, on land, German engineers pursued extreme armored vehicles. The most infamous was the Panzerkampfwagen 8 Maus, weighing nearly 200 tons. Its armor was almost impossible to penetrate, and its gun could destroy enemy tanks at long distance. However, the Maus suffered from the same problem many concept weapons face: practicality. It was too heavy to cross bridges, too slow to redeploy effectively, and required enormous amounts of fuel. Its mechanical components failed constantly. Only 2 prototypes were completed. The Maus demonstrated that advanced engineering still needs practicality to succeed in war. Beyond the real and tangible projects, myths began to form. One of the most enduring legends is the device known as Die Glock, or the Bell. According to these stories, the Bell was a secret machine powered by exotic energy sources. Rumors claimed it generated intense electromagnetic fields, affecting time, gravity, and biological tissues. Some witnesses described strange purple glows and terrible accidents during experiments. Conspiracy theories linked the Bell to UFO sightings after the war, suggesting that scientists escaped to remote locations carrying their dangerous knowledge. Although historians generally agree that there is no reliable evidence to support these claims, the myth of the Bell persists because it appeals to our deepest curiosity. It combines forbidden science, hidden laboratories, and an escape from justice. It reads like a thrilling movie plot, which makes it difficult to forget. Another persistent myth concerns secret Nazi bases in Antarctica. These stories claim that submarines transported advanced equipment and leaders to hidden underground facilities near the South Pole. Some versions go even further, suggesting that these bases developed advanced aircraft that continue to fly today. While these claims lack credible evidence, they continue to inspire books, documentaries, and video games. It is no coincidence that many fictional secret bases we encounter in gaming culture resemble these imagined Antarctic facilities. However, while exploring these mythic ideas can be entertaining, the real reason Germany's secret weapons failed was far more straightforward. War demands logistics. Germany did not have enough oil, iron, chromium, or nickel to support its advanced projects. Allied bombers targeted factories, supply lines, and laboratories. Engineers were drafted into combat roles. Political interference from leadership weakened research programs. Obsession replaced strategy. In contrast, the Allied forces focused on producing vast numbers of reliable weapons. They understood that quantity often defeats quality in sustained warfare. Another factor was time. Even the most brilliant designs require testing, adjustment, and manufacturing. Most German wonder weapons appeared too late. The Me-262 arrived when Allied bombers had already destroyed the infrastructure needed to fuel and maintain it. The Type XXI submarine arrived when the Kriegsmarine had already lost dominance. The advanced Panzer designs could not compensate for an empty fuel tank. Despite failure to turn the tide, the influence of these weapons on the post-war world was enormous. The United States and the Soviet Union competed fiercely to capture German scientists. This competition shaped the Cold War, aerospace engineering, missile technology, jet aircraft, and submarine doctrine. Every space mission, from launching satellites to landing on the moon, carries the echo of these wartime developments. As we approach the present, fascination remains strong. Gamers enjoy exploring alternate timelines where these weapons succeed. Engineers admire the bold creativity. Historians debate what might have happened if Germany had deployed its jet fighters earlier, or if its submarine fleet had matured more quickly. These what-if questions spark discussion and imagination. Yet, it is important to remember that behind every innovation was a human cost. Resources spent on experimental weapons could have fed civilians, relocated refugees, or provided medical support. Scientists who dreamed of reaching the stars were forced to turn their genius toward destruction. This dark contradiction reminds us of the responsibility that comes with knowledge. Before we conclude, here are some questions for you, the viewer. Would any of these technological breakthroughs have changed the war? Do you believe myths like the bell have some truth behind them, or are they purely fantasy? What technology today might one day be considered a wonder weapon of our era? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your ideas can fuel future videos and discussions. In the end, the story of the secret weapons of the Third Reich is more than a collection of machines. It is a cautionary tale about ambition without ethical restraint. It shows that even brilliant innovation cannot overcome flawed leadership, failing infrastructure, and moral decay. These weapons remain both a warning and a fascination. When you see rockets launch into space or jet aircraft soar across the sky, remember that their origins are tied to a time of extraordinary danger and desperate hope. The Third Reich failed to understand a fundamental truth: technology alone cannot win wars. Victory requires strategy, logistics, cooperation, and humanity. While these secret weapons appear dramatic and powerful, they could not compensate for the Allies' clear advantage in production, resource access, and strategic planning. As we move forward into our own technological future, we must be mindful. Innovation should serve humanity, not dominate it. Knowledge should liberate, not enslave. The legacy of these secret weapons stands as both a marvel and a warning. Their story continues to echo, asking us to look at our own inventions and ask, are we building a brighter future, or are we repeating the mistakes of the past? Thank you for watching. If you want more deep dives into hidden history, forgotten technology, secret prototypes, and what-if scenarios that feel like alternate endings to a game, make sure to leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe. There are many more stories waiting to be uncovered, and together, we can continue exploring the shadowed edges of history.